My name is Michaela and I'm 9. Women of the 1800s had very few rights. They were expected to be seen, not heard. My family lived during the time of the Civil War. This was a time of great unrest in our country. In a time where women could not even vote, I gave women a voice. I inspired women everywhere to tell their story by becoming writers. I was born in Germantown, Pennsylvania, November 29, 1832. I loved to play with the books in my father's study, building forts, pretending to read until I learned how, or scribbling on blank pages. Curiously, I often got lost in the adventures and the scenes of my favorite poems and stories, such as Ralph Waldo Emerson or Nathaniel Hawthorne. I was not all flowers and lace, for I was a tomboy at heart. No boy could be my friend till I had beaten him in a race, and no girl if she refused to climb trees. Education was very important to my family. My father taught us the importance of equality for everyone. He believed everybody had a right to be educated. I was homeschooled by my father. He introduced me to a new range of wonderful authors. I love my family, but I also like to be alone. I placed my desk by the window so I could look out into the garden as I wrote. I loved to write, but I had no idea I would eventually write a famous novel. I wrote brilliant dramas that me and my sisters would act out for family and friends. While I was a nurse, I wrote hospital sketches about my times in the hospital so people who read them would know of the happy times. During my days as a teacher, I wrote flower fables, which I read to one of my students to entertain her. Later, I would write one of my most famous works, which is about my childhood. Throughout my career, I wrote over 30 books and short story collections. People were interested in whether my stories were true or a work of fiction. Children were specifically interested in the more silly elements of the stories, such as the lively pillow fights between the sisters, my sisters, and our father. People could relate to this story because they could feel the emotions from the sadness of Beth's death to the joy of Meg's marriage. I always generously dreamed of being able to provide for my family financially. I was able to provide them with luxuries that gave me great joy. Some say writers are born not made, but once I was inspired in my writing, I could do anything. Ultimately, my education and loyalty to my family and friends gave me the inspiration I needed to write. You can write too once you are inspired.